Of this screencast is to be introduced to the Unit 5 vocabulary words, and the theme is writing, hence the picture of the pencil writing. And this is the web page that you can find a lot of information on. We're scrolling down to the presentation. Most of the time we use whiteboards when we do this, but today you're going to raise your hand. And I'm calling on you to stay engaged, and I want to see a lot of hands in the air. A lot of these questions anybody can answer, so take a risk and put your hand in the air to answer some of these questions. Also, whoever is running the presentation should pause after a question is asked in order for people to respond to the questions. That is so my moving through it at a steady pace doesn't interrupt any discussions that happen. So, writing is the theme of Unit 5 vocabulary, and what are two roots found in words that have to do with writing? So, introduction to the unit. What is the title of the unit? Pause and answer that question. What are the two featured roots? See if you can guess. We talked about them yesterday. Pause and put your hand up, respond to the question. The two featured roots, scrib or scrip, and it means written, and graph means written as well. So, nice. They both mean the same thing. So that's kind of nice and easy to remember. Remember, you got to make a card for these. So every word's either going to have scrib or scrip in it or graph in it. Introduction to the unit. Other than writing by hand, how else is writing done? Pause and field some questions, or responses, sorry. I offer a polygraph, an electrocardiograph, and to transcribe. So polygraph, anybody know what that does? Pause and field some responses. Electrocardiograph, does anybody know what that writes? Pause and field some responses. Transcribe, what does that mean, to transcribe? It's something code breakers do. Pause and field some responses. Familiar words, you don't need to know these words. They're not part of your 22 cards. They're just familiar to you, and they happen to use the roots. Describe, description, scribble. What is the difference in the way the root is spelled and the way it is pronounced in describe and description? Pause and field some responses. When you write a description of a person, what elements might you include? Pause and field some responses. What is the shared meaning of the root scrip and scrib in the familiar words above? They all have to do with one thing. Pause and field some responses. More familiar words, this time with the root graph. You have digraph and graph. What kinds of graphs have you seen in your textbooks? Pause and field some responses. There's line graphs, bar graphs, picture graphs. What is the connection between the root graph, meaning to write, and the graphs you have seen in your textbooks? Pause and field some responses. Which familiar word above is a phonics term for two letters written together to stand for one sound? Pause and field some responses. It's a flip of a coin. Take a risk. What are some examples of a digraph? Pause and field some responses. An example of a digraph might be written or ul, so two letters together that stand for one sound. Or sometimes ph makes f, or th makes f. Keywords. Please say them after me, aloud. Everybody. Autobiography. Autograph. Biography. Geography. Paragraph. Postscript. Prescription. Scribe. Script. Subscription. These are your key words. And now your challenge words. Please repeat after me. Ascribe. Proscribe. Superscript. Transcribe. Choreograph. Graphic. Graphite. Polygraph. Cartography. Lexicography. Say that one again. Lexicography. Thank you for listening to this screencast.